3 months ago, I convinced a bunch of 60 women to make history. Now, this story started, as all great adventures do, whilst I was sat on the sofa complaining at the TV. I was so angry that I saw more stories about horses than women in the sports pages. I was frustrated that elite women don't get a fair wage to play the sports they love, if they're paid at all. And I was annoyed that there are far fewer opportunities for girls and women to play sport, and fewer role models to look up to. Soccer has this incredible power to unite people. But for me, the beautiful game had turned quite ugly. The sport I loved had been reduced to soccer, brackets women, always an afterthought. Kicked off the pitch because the boys needed to train. Hand-me-down kit, cut for men, not women. No coverage of the big games. Where were my role models? Where were my heroes? I wanted to change the conversation so that future generations don't have to ask the same tired old questions. I wanted to create an equal playing field so that women can step onto the pitch as equals, so that girls growing up around the world can just play. So I had this idea. Why not have a kickabout at the top of Kilimanjaro? Why not play soccer 2,000 meters higher than the world's highest stadium? But how do you take an idea from the grassroots to a global movement? And how do you inspire women and girls to do something that has never been done before, and something people actively told me they couldn't do? As a committed amateur, my greatest sporting achievement to date had been being bumped into by Venus Williams at Wimbledon. So step one, I needed to inspire myself. I needed to ask, what am I capable of? How far can I push myself? I also needed to speak up. I believe silence makes you complicit, and I was being a spectator to my own issues. I would need to find my voice and add to it the voices of others, and together speak loud enough to be heard. So secondly, I needed to find a squad. I needed to find 20 players, 4 referees, and 2 goalkeepers willing to put their bodies to the test and step into the unknown. I got up from my incredibly comfy sofa and took the first step. I called my friend Erin, and she immediately said, "Yes, I'm in." And together we went out with a simple message: opportunity, equality, respect. Nothing more, nothing less. We called up anyone and everyone who would listen. But about 6 months out from the check, we almost had to call it off because it was so hard to build that initial momentum. Everyone was like, "Yeah, that's a great idea, but there is no way I am climbing a mountain." And ironically, we struggled to raise a small amount of money for a campaign that highlights the struggles that female athletes have to get paid. But slowly our message got through. And one by one, we built up this awesome squad. 24 nationalities came forward, from the grassroots to the elite. And we said to each and every woman that answered our call, "You are worth something. You are valued. We value the time and effort that you have put in to make this game beautiful. And our promise to you, we're going to inspire you to do things you never even dreamed were possible." Together, we built a like-minded global network of women and men, because we believe diversity is our strongest asset. We had our community. We had our volcano climbing, soccer playing, goal scoring squad of mountain sisters. And then we focused on the mission: set a world record. Now, growing up, I used to watch the Guinness World Record TV show, and they had a mantra, which is, "Dedication is what you need." But what they don't tell you is you need ridiculous persistence, relentless optimism, and a very large supply of blister plasters. Halfway up a nighttime 1,000-meter vertical climb, I did wonder, what on earth was I doing here? Haneen, one of our players from Jordan, wondered the same thing. And she gave herself 2 reasons to turn back. It was minus 14 degrees, and she was exhausted. She then gave herself 60 reasons to carry on. The 60 people around her, sharing her hopes and her dreams. Dawn broke, and we reached the crater. And our volcanic lava sand, full-size pitch stood before us, 5,714 meters into the sky. And then came the easy part. We got to play. We got to shoot and tackle and miss the ball and save the ball and forget that we're high up in the air and can't breathe very well. We got to play for all the women and girls denied the opportunity to play. We got to play in spite of all the people who told us it wasn't possible, who told us so many things could go wrong. And yet here we were, playing the beautiful game. The final whistle blew, and I had the coolest feeling. I surprised myself. I'd surpassed my own expectations. I put my body and my idea to the test and succeeded. And together, my team surprised me. We'd set a world record for the highest altitude soccer match of any gender, ever. Woo! So we'd set a world record, but we'd also seeded an idea. And an idea that became bigger than one individual, bigger than one team. By inspiring ourselves, we'd inspired others to use their voices. And we have been heard. We put our stories in the news. We made a documentary. And I'm standing here talking to you today. We're addressing the problems I saw from my sofa. We're creating our own role models. I've never been more inspired than by my mountain sisters. So is climbing a mountain the end of it? No. We've still got work to do. Less than 10% of FIFA's budget goes to women's soccer. We want to keep talking about this until we don't have to talk about it anymore. We want to keep working together to create change. Change so that more women and girls can climb and conquer their own mountains. Change until it becomes socially unacceptable not to believe in our idea of a more equitable society. And change not through angry protests, but through quiet persistence and creating a community and play. Now we're running soccer camps around the world with girls that have never even kicked a ball before and coaching female teams to be the best athletes they can be. My idea is on its own journey around the world, without me. We've taken the first step. Now it's up to the rest of the squad. That's you. So how do you take that first step on your own mountain journey? Well, it's easy. Just get off the sofa. I challenge you to surprise yourself, to change your own limits of what is possible and what is permitted. And sometimes it's hard to surprise yourself. So use your energy to inspire others, because you'll need a squad around you if you're going to shift the status quo. And finally, when your idea is big enough to stand on its own, let it fly and go and change and be absorbed by others. And then look around you and go and find the next mountain to climb. Thank you.